No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Wrealm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Break It Down with Brian H. This is a special interview edition, as I had the honor and pleasure of speaking to Dazzle, the CEO of the Black Wrestling Alliance. The two of us talked about how the page started, as well as some of the wrestlers that have followed the page, and what happens when sometimes he realizes a wrestler isn't black. So after this word from the real Dwayne Allen, sit back and enjoy the interview with the CEO of the Black Wrestling Alliance.
The Wrestling Room presents Realness Reacts, where I, the real Dwayne Allen, will react to a number of different things in the world of professional wrestling. I have something to say all the time anyway, so hey, why not? Exclusively on Instagram.
Houston, we have a problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, I have with me on the line the CEO, the man behind the Black Wrestling Alliance. This guy has been a supporter of Break It Down with Brian H., a supporter of the real Dwayne Allen and I, collectively known as the Wrestling Wrealm, and other Black podcasters out there, and not just us. Of course, he's been a huge supporter of the wrestlers, and he's followed by many, including his favorite, Caleb Braxton. So, what's up, man? Dazzle for Shazzle. What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. Introduction's brilliant. Yeah, man. I'm real good, man.
So you're over there in the UK, right? How do you keep up with not only things that's going over there, but things that's going over here on American soil?
Man, Instagram's a massive help, if I'm totally honest. The internet, thank God for social media, the internet and modern technology, to be fair, because it would be very, very difficult to stay up to date with anything that's going on. So yeah, it's just really, and obviously, of course, the bigger scene for wrestling is in the US. So almost everything is coming from there anyway.
Yeah, so I always thought it was interesting because here, so before I get into it, I'll start with this. So this year, or this week, today's January 21st, over here we're celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King today, and it's also my sister's 31st birthday. A year ago to this day, I launched Wrestling for the Culture. You, my friend, was a huge inspiration for that. I wanted to do something weekly. I wanted to write a little bit more, and that's when I started Wrestling for the Culture. And then, I would look for what the wrestlers of color was doing. And, I would see your content. So I would, put the embedded link, not the screenshot, because I wanted you to get those clicks. And, so people would sit there, and I would get retweets and stuff. And now I decided to take it to video. And of course, I was like, well, I got to take the BWA with me. Hits every week. There was used to call it and new, now it's called Black Gold. There's a segment, right. And it's presented by the Black Wrestling Alliance, because I could feel like it's better when we get to work together. And I definitely want to say right here, I appreciate what you've done, as well as I'm appreciative of the support of the Wrestling Wrealm. Just by whether it's in an Instagram story or on the page when you posted. When the real Dwayne Allen was on my show, Break It Down with Brian H., we saw followers spike up. What was the inspiration? Okay. What made you start the page?
Yeah, so it goes back probably about 2 to maybe 3 years. The story, at least, of the page. The page I started in June 2017. July 2017, should I say. But about a year before that, I've been a wrestling fan since I was 8. I'm now 33, going to be 34 on the 27th, the same day as Royal Rumble. Come on.
Go.
So, I've been a wrestling fan for like 25 years now. But I've never really been, or when you get to a certain age, you can't really be public about it anymore. Like all your friends start watching it and stuff like that. But I carried on watching. But up until about 2-3 years ago, I decided to kind of break out of being quiet about it. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but I just decided to break out being quiet about it. So I'm starting to follow people that are doing, just wrestling news in general and stuff like that. Some of the Instagram profile, always got wrestling news going on. And I'm starting to think, okay, I want to do this as well, but I want to do it differently. How can I do it differently? So what I started to do just for myself, before even thinking about putting anything out publicly, is started to find black wrestlers, independent wrestlers. So I came across Leo Rush, Lacey Lane, Willow Nightingale, and a few of the guys. One of the guys that are in House of Glory in New York. So I started to then share that on the page. I just decided, okay, let me on a page, on a separate page, and see what happens. Just share who I'm finding. So as I'm doing that, obviously followers and whatever I started to build up and stuff like that. And then I noticed as well that no one else was doing what I was doing. There were other podcasters, other fans of them, but no one was very specific on just looking at and promoting specifically black wrestlers. So that's where it started really. And it's kind of just escalated from there, and and we are where we are. It never really was supposed to be what it is now. It never really was that in my head. But now that we're here, I'm glad it is, and I'm trying to take it even further.
Yeah, man. I always thought it was interesting. Like I said, being able to keep up with the stuff that's going on over there, as well over here, and one of the things that I look forward to on Tuesdays is kind of like your live reactions to Monday Night Raw, or Wednesdays, your live reactions to SmackDown. Because I was like, all right, let's see what my man over there is thinking about this type of content. Now, we see one of the things you did a Instagram live. Several things are over in the UK as far as learning that there's a black population over there. Because a lot of times over here in the United States, we kind of be in our own bubble, whether it's through entertainment or just everything. Would you say that the promotions over there are less likely to push a black wrestler?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I put a post out when they announced the Performance Center in the UK. Now, I had the idea to do this post ages ago, but that kind of was, the nail in the coffin. Like, I've got to put this out on the same day about, the lack of black wrestlers. Now, I think it's twofold, not just simply because we're not getting opportunities. It's more to do with the fact that there isn't a lot of black wrestlers in the UK. There are very, very few. I've found probably less than 20, if I'm totally honest, that are doing things regularly. And obviously, when I see wrestling shows over here, the independent stuff, the very small stuff that happens in like the school gyms and stuff like that, you hardly see anyone on there. So I guess for me, that post really was a bit of a call to action as well as an awareness thing as well. So even with wrestling itself, with the page itself, should I say, it's a lot to do with I guess me kind of trying to encourage others to be like myself and not be so quiet about liking wrestling. And to be a bit more confident in the fact that we're black, and as much as we're a very small minority within a wrestling fandom, to still kind of be proud about it, not be too scared of it and stuff like that, really.
I hear that, man. Now, which wrestler, I guess to say, what was your mark out moment when they liked the page or liked content from the page or even reposted the page?
The moment when you say like the page felt as if it was gaining traction, or
like what person made you like, wow, I can't believe they liked it?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. There's been so many, and I can't remember who was the first one. But I can say when David Otunga only a few months ago shared 2 posts that I did about him, because in one weekend he won a bodybuilding contest, and also the trailer for his new movie came out in that one weekend. So I posted both things, and he's reposted both of them as well. Then that made Titus O'Neil follow the page as well, which was amazing, just crazy. Brandy Rhodes started following a few months back as well. There's been so many others. Caleb Braxton, as you mentioned at the start as well. And yeah, MVP. I've spoken with MVP, met him, all that. There's been quite a few. I can't even remember who the first one really was. The first standout one really was.
Okay, now a lot of times, let's be real, there'll be Black people who may be a little bit lighter. Have you had that situation where you've posted somebody and they tell you, or DMs or maybe in the messages, hey, I'm not Black?
I've only had it from Mark Merrill, which was literally a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that someone else would put a collage of the Intercontinental Champions, Black Intercontinental Champions. He was in the collage. I thought, I'm just going to share it anyway. He DM'd me and said, I'm not Black. No one else has ever said I'm not Black. I get a lot of people, followers, who have questioned me whether so-and-so's Black, and I had the discussion with about Ronda Rousey. There was one about Juice Winston, and there's always Ricochet, Sasha Banks, and 1 or 2 others that I get all the time. But only Mark Merrill is the only person that's turned around and said not.
Okay, yeah, and which I'll go ahead and say it on record. You educated me. As a child, I was a fan of Johnny B. Bad, and then when he came to WWE and became the Wild Man Mark Merrill, I was a fan. I'm like, okay, I like this guy, but I never really was like, I guess I just assumed just because his color of skin, and he looked just like Lil Richie.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's like, because that he was due to have, like, according to rumor and innuendo, he was due to have like a big push, and they invested a lot in him. And I think that would have been interesting if he had became WWE champion in, say, like 96, 97, and then it would have been revealed, oh, he's not Black.
Right. I mean, I only found out just about a year ago that he wasn't. So that shocked me as well, because I was started watching wrestling. I started really following WCW, and he was the standout guy for me at the time. To a point, he was, one of the reasons I watch wrestling. So when I found out he was a Black, I was like, what? So, it was crazy.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I just think it's really amazing what you do with the page, because one, it's you've created a brand where people don't just look for the what the Black wrestlers doing. You get content such as new champions, WWE Ebony, or WWE Ebony. I think that's pretty cool. Have you been over to the United States?
Since starting the page, no. I've been to the United States like 3-4 times in the past. Disneyland. I've been skiing. I've been on a cruise. So I've traveled a bit, but not since the page. It's kind of one of my goals this year to go over at least for something. I don't know what yet, but to go over to the States and do something over there, interviews and stuff like that, or some level of networking as well.
Well, certainly, we'd love to have you over here for WrestleMania or StarCast.
Yeah. And the plan, man, I don't know how real that's going to be because it's around the corner now. But we've Double or Nothing. I've always said WrestleCade is something to go to as well. There's a few opportunities. There's still SummerSlam as well, and other things as well. We've still got a whole 11 months of 2019 to try and get through.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, are there any black wrestlers you don't know? Because I mean, like I said at the top of the show, I've learned a lot from you just in this past year. I'm like, wow, you know, and some of these wrestlers are right here within, you know, just them on the East Coast, which I mean, there's so many promotions, and it's no disrespect on, oh, well, I'm not trying to cover them or I'm not trying to see who they are. It's just, it's so many promotions, and that's why I'm always amazed at how you just get this content. Is it a point now where people are feeding you content as well?
I mean, it's been a while that I've had one or two, or every now and again you get people that will tell me stuff. But what I've noticed is that a lot of the time now I'm finding out stuff before they tell me. It's crazy. So, I mean, in the past it was, you know, say for example with the Black Gold or the post. Now with it being a regular thing that I do on a Tuesday, and I'm posting at least 5 to 10 new champions. Whereas about 6 months ago, it was just done every time I found out there was someone that won a championship, because it was probably like 5 times a week, or something like that. But as I've you know, developed my knowledge or followed more people or found new people and stuff like that, I noticed that I couldn't do it every single time I'm seeing someone new. So I thought, okay, most wrestling happens over a weekend. So between Friday and Sunday, everything goes on. I use Monday to let people kind of post their picture with their championship, or someone tells me, or whatever it is. So then that's why it ended up being on a Tuesday, and being a bulk of stars that are winning championships. So that's, you know, it just shows how much the page and the following has grown, and I'm still amazed on how many black wrestlers there actually are. Still some that I'm finding out, some that are kind of still trying to crew, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of guys and girls that are training to be wrestlers as well now.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, especially you know, I think we're at a point now that when these wrestlers are in these locker rooms and they win these titles, that we'll see them, or even fans say, make sure you report that to the Black Wrestling Alliance. So, you know, and they'll be at the point.
I get that all the time as well. Yeah, I get that all the time. I've had people, quote unquote, upset with me for missing them out as well. Sometimes. So yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
Well, that means you're doing something right. You're on everybody's radar, man.
For sure.
Any shout outs you want to give before I let you go?
Any shouts? Gosh, there's a few. Tia's podcast, big fans of those guys over in New York. My biggest following is in New York, so I always got to shout out those guys, because I know quite a lot of them he's been through them as well, and what they do over there with the podcast and their viewing parties that they do for every pay-per-view as well, WWE pay-per-view. Another guy I want to shout actually is Instagram page called The Hell of a Kid. He came to me back. It was this time last year. Came to me about an idea for doing something for Black History Month, and to have different black wrestler every day for the 28 days of February.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was crazy work. It was mad to do all that research and all those posts every single day and find the photos and all that kind of stuff. But I think that page, that month, really, that idea really put my page on the map, kind of thing. It was just after I got my first 1,000 followers, and even in that February, I think I hit 2,000 within like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that was a massive thing. So me and him, he's kind of like my little brother, because he's a young guy still. But yeah, man, yeah, he was a massive help in that as well.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I gotta give a quick shout out to my boy Dr. D from the firm and the Wrestling Marks of Excellence. You know, one of the things he would do the same thing for me. Let me know. He'll be at a show and say, "Hey, main event." You know, that was my old name when we first started the show. I got some content for you, and that's what I would do. I said, "Man, you following the Black Wrestling Alliance too, right? You know, make sure you get that over to him." You know, he's like, "Yeah, you know, you guys were in contact with each other." So That's good, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get ready to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, he has over 11,000 followers on Instagram. So if you're not doing it, you need to, whether you are black or not. You should be following the Black Wrestling Alliance so that you can see some of the content and the stuff, the cool, amazing stuff that the wrestlers color are doing as well. And you'll see he posted some stuff, especially with their white counterparts. I mean, you got like guys like the Gymnasty Boys, you know, so it's not like
love the Gymnastics, love them guys, man, really love them guys.
You know, and you know, as far as I've been watching, you know, he's a huge fan of Aleister Black, and it's not just because his last name is Black. But ladies and gentlemen,
so that's the master.
You said what?
He started following the page as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is the man, Dazzle. Make sure you check him out at Black Wrestling Alliance on Instagram. He also has a Facebook page and on Twitter as well. So make sure you're connected with him there. Till the next time, so long, everybody.